So let's be very honest. The coronavirus is not going anywhere anytime soon. But we have to get on with our lives somehow. So if you feel like going on a nice road trip for a day, go ahead and do it. If you feel like going on a nice weekend trip, please, by all means, get in your car or jump on your bike and hit the open road. All you have to do is just be smart, hit the right precautions, and maintain social distancing. So today, we're gonna head out on a beautiful road trip on an amazing bike. And we're gonna go through 2 different states and 1 union territory. And we're gonna show you that it's absolutely safe to do so. Now, of course, fueling is very important when you're on a long road trip. Luckily for me, I'm only doing a day trip. And I had this amazing bike here, which is a massive fuel tank. So I already refueled in Delhi. But honestly, if you're going to refuel, it's very simple. Just follow the same procedure you would as you would fuel up in your own city. So the very first thing that you guys need to do before you go out on a day trip or a weekend trip is you have to plan. Now, planning is going to be the most important step of your road trip, because you need to find out if the road you're taking is fine, if the borders are still open, because there are some borders that are still shut depending on different situations, and you need to make sure you're not traveling through any quarantine or red zones. Now, once you find out that information, you can plan your route and decide where you can go. We rode all the way out here to Sariska from Delhi. We left Delhi early morning, crossed through Haryana, and then finally entered Rajasthan and then to Alwar. And we had absolutely no problems whatsoever. The roads were beautiful. There was no checkposts. There was no checking going on. And then, of course, it goes without saying, you have to carry lots of hand sanitizers and, of course, plenty of face masks and rubber gloves. You will not get these in every place. In fact, I've noticed while traveling through smaller cities, in fact, not everyone is wearing face masks or gloves, and nobody is really following social distancing norms. So make sure that you have all of those things with you. And then, of course, you need to also make sure you don't stop so much. Now, when you're riding down on a long road trip, try not to stop in crowded places. If you want to stop in a dhaba, make sure that it's following the social distancing norms and that it's not very packed. Luckily for us, we went on some backcountry roads and it was absolutely beautiful. It was brilliant. There were no people. The dhaba we stayed at was very nice, very good food. Everybody was following social distancing norms and it went very well. Another thing you can do is take your own food and water with you, of course. That will save you time, and of course, you don't have to stop in a lot of places. And now, of course, we have to mention public restrooms. Try to avoid them as much as possible. If you really have to go to the bathroom, I don't have to explain it to you. I'm sure you'll be very careful, as you always were before, hopefully. If not, if you're a guy, even if you're a girl, you know, going out in nature isn't so bad. Doing it in the city is different, but out here in the wilderness, it's okay to do that. And finally, another important tip is don't deal in cash. Try not to deal in cash as much as you can. If you do have Paytm or Google Pay or any other payment apps, it's highly advisable for you to use those instead. Even a debit card is fine, but the debit card, obviously, you have to enter your PIN. So I would suggest you to use either a toothpick or a small little stick to enter the PIN with that instead of using your fingers. Or if you're wearing gloves, that's fine too. Another important thing to look out for is that if you're riding a big bike or if you're in a SUV or something like that, a lot of locals love to come and touch your vehicle and sit on it, take pictures with it. So always make sure, if you can, always cover your vehicle when it's parked for long durations, and also carry an aerosol spray sanitizer that you can spray on the handlebars of your bike, even on the steering wheel of your car and the door handles as well. These are all little tips that will actually save you from getting infected and, of course, getting into a lot of trouble. So these are very basic tips. If you can follow them, the government guidelines have been set. All borders are open. Tourism is now about to kick off. And there are a lot of industries and people who depend on tourism. So if you are a responsible traveler and you would like to go out, then please, by all means, go ahead and do so.